when you take toys and comics, put them together, you get toyomic displays. Today we're going to talk about Locke and Key, the Keyhouse Compendium. Here we go! You are now staring down the barrel of a spoiler warning. What's going on, comic fans? We're going to talk about Locke and Key, and the three main characters here that I consider the main characters are Kinsey, Bodhi, and Tyler, and they're all siblings. Now, we're not going to talk about every aspect of the story, but we're going to go across the main points. And I'm going to tell you why I think you should really pick this book up and check it out. It's a great read. I read the first volume 1 in trade paperback and instantly picked this up in the compendium to finish the story out. And stay tuned to the end of this video where you can find out how you could win this very copy of Locke and Key, Welcome to Lovecraft by Joe Hill. Now let's talk about the creators on this story. Joe Hill is the writer, and he's also the son of Stephen King, who's a notable horror author in novels and even in comics. But it's great that Joe Hill decided he wanted to set himself apart and gain his own notoriety in horror books and not ride the coattails of his dad. Now, Gabriel Rodriguez is the artist in this story, and you can take a look at some of these drawings here, and they're great. Also, you have Jay Photos, who's the colorist on this, and he's really making these pictures pop. This art is great, and it can be really dark and demented when it needs to be, and bring that horror to the forefront, so you get the gist of the story of the terrible things that are going down. But it could also be light and easygoing and adventurous. It's not too dark, and it gets the point across. Now, there's even a point of the story where it's even cartoonish, and it switches over to like a Calvin and Hobbes vibe, and that really lightens things up. And in the beginning of this story, there's a home invasion, and the father, Rendell Locke, is murdered brutally. So the mom decides to take the three kids, move back to Rendell's hometown, to their family home, the Keyhouse. They're the Locke family, but they live in this huge mansion called Keyhouse, which I think is really good play on words there. It just fits. Like a key and a lock. And in this house, Bodhi hears these whispers, there's something calling to him. And when he follows the whispers and they get louder and louder, he finds a key. And every time he finds a key, he has to find out what lock it goes to. And each thing has a different power that it unlocks. One such key is the head key, which actually fits in the back of someone's neck. And you turn the key, their head opens, and they appear beside of themselves and can peer into their own skull, and anybody in the room can do the same thing, and they can pull out memories or thoughts where all your private information is stored, which could make you pretty vulnerable. But what Kinsey does is she takes her fear and her anger out of her head, so she no longer experiences those emotions, and they come into form of these little scary demon and a sad, whiny, cry, mourning little figure, and they're actually alive. They pull them out of her head and they keep them in a bottle, and she no longer has those emotions in her skull. And throughout the story, they use these keys and these other devices, such as this crown of shadows, to overcome the evil that is pursuing them, that's trying to take over and unleash the demons into the world. And they do a good job with character development in this story. You are invested in the characters they're talking about at the time, and you want them to succeed or you want them to fail, depending if they're bad or good. And it's just a really great way to progress through the story, and it makes you, even at the end, want more of these characters. And we could be here all day talking about the entirety of the story. And as you can see, the book is fairly thick. It has a lot of pages. It's a great read. It may take you more than just one sitting to go through it, but you want to read it over and over and just keep getting to the new adventures and the craziness and the horror that comes out, the suspense and the thriller that comes out of this book. So with that being said, I'd like to give Lock and Key, Keyhouse Compendium by Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez, and Jay Fotos by IDW Publishing a 9 out of 10, being one of the best stories I read in 2021. I really hope this series continues. And I hope this story continues, and it actually does, with Lock and Key Heaven and Earth and Lock and Key Small World. Each of these are small stories with some great additional art and additional content that continue the story after the compendium. And hopefully after all of this is said and done, we get more later down the road. And remember earlier on in the video where I said you could win this copy of Lock and Key, Welcome to Lovecraft, Volume 1, trade paperback? All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe. And on January 30th, I'll pick a winner. Sorry, but only U.S. continental shipments will apply. No international shipping. That's a lot of freight. Also, if you've read this, let us know what you thought about the story in the comments. Have a good one. And thanks for watching.